to the Runner X podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running. Welcome back to the Runner X podcast. I'm your host, Coach Caroline, and I'm here with Coach Valerie. Coach, we've been talking recently about kind of this fear of falling and getting stuck in our mind. And so you made a great comment that was like, basically, if you're stuck in your mind, you're stuck on the ground. Explain that to laymen that don't follow you or understand what you mean.
Well, and you know, it's a great thought, only because people are always asking me, how should I land my foot? How should my foot land? And a lot of shoes, even, guys, are sold with the foot stripe. Like the word foot stripe, you know, and is so implemented in what you hear and you don't realize it. And what happens is, if you have any thoughts at all of landing, of how you're touching the ground, where your foot's supposed to be, any thoughts at all, then it's what happens is you're actually looking for the ground. You're looking to be on the ground, and running is about being in the air. And so the best part for me is when that light bulb went off for me, because Dr. Romanov would say to me, why are you looking for the ground? And when I first met him, you know, his English isn't his first language. I thought, I wonder what he's saying. I have no idea what that means. So I said to him, I don't understand it. Like, what do you mean I'm looking for the ground? What does that even mean? And he said, every time when you're running, you put your front foot out, you're looking for the ground. It's a safety net. Because you want to know you're safe, you're on the ground, and then you pick up your back foot. Yeah. He said, you're never running. He said, you're never running. You're just looking for the ground all the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, I had no idea I was doing that. That wasn't actually my intent, right? When you go running,
right.
You don't think I'm looking for the ground. However, that does become your action if your thought is, even if you're thinking about going forward, right? Like if your thought is, how am I getting there? Or I need to be there. I need to finish this mile. Or this is the next thing. Then and how do I land my foot? Any of that. Then it's amazing how much your body is actually responding to that by keeping you grounded.
Yeah, 100%. And with that, like we've talked about this fact that that part of the momentum and part of the to reduce the impact is to fall, and then to let your body recover underneath as you're falling, right? Is to pull in response to the fall. And what's so amazing to me is I'll do mindset with our members, and so many of them will come to me and say, well, I'm afraid I'm going to get shin splints, or I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my foot again. And I'll tell them, do you realize that resistance, that fear, is making you not fall? They're literally putting on the brakes, right? They're so afraid of shin splints that they're putting their foot out in front of them and stopping that momentum. And so I have to ask them, have you ever really, like, have you ever tripped and truly landed on your face? Like, there are people that have. I've come close, but your body will react. Like, as you start to fall, especially if you're like awake and you're not, you know, you can see where you're going, your feet, your body will respond to the fall, correct? It's not something that's not natural for us to do.
However, yeah, I mean, it's true. And here's the thing, most people at least even know when you fall, bend your elbows, right? I mean, you should. Yeah. Falling, by the way, is a skill. Like people that play sports, that play athletics, they learn how to fall, how to take a hit, how to hit the ground. So it is a skill. When you trip and fall, right, don't hit your face. Yeah. And your body, hopefully, by the way, has a response mechanism. But just so you know, and this is reality, people, as they get older, if you do not communicate with your body, it does not communicate back with you. Right. And many, like older people, they don't realize they're falling until they're falling or it's too late. This, guys, it's interesting. Communicating with your foot, not looking, is the opposite. Instead of looking for the ground, you start responding to ground contact. It changes your life for the rest of your life. forever and ever and ever. Because as soon as you switch your movement patterns and your whole thought of lifting and pulling, walking or running, by the way, even getting out of a chair, everything changes in the movement. And then you have less fear. I mean, it all is like that mindset. I'm telling you, it all connects together. And you have these aha moments because you didn't realize even that that's how you were moving. And that's the best part of what we teach people is we don't teach you anything of not to. We don't say no's. We're no negative. We have no negativity, positivity, and what to do. If my job is to lift and to pull, I never have to worry about putting my foot down because I only have one job. And that's so cool. But first you have to kind of like go, oh, wow, that makes sense. I didn't know I was doing that. So that's one of our favorite things to teach people.
Well, and that goes back into the, that we say when you're stuck in your mind, and that means that you're stuck in the idea of fear or you're resisting. Am I falling instead of just letting go? Like thoughts like letting go, just feeling connected to the ground, being light, those kind of like woo thoughts that a lot of people, I know if you're just listening to our podcast and you've never worked with us, you think we're crazy, but I really want to challenge you that we've had members come through and some buy all in and do it very quickly. Some will resist us for a long period of time. And everyone, when they finally get over, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to think light, or I'm going to think let go. I'm really going to make my thought be what I want my result to be. They feel it. They get the response they want. The thought comes before the action. So if you're thinking about landing, you will land. If you're thinking about flying or being free and being light, your body will respond to that thought. The action will follow the thought and you'll get the results you want. And so that's something else I kind of want to say, like, don't get stuck in the mind of the do, right? You can be in your mind, but it should be what you want. What do you want the results to be? I want it to feel light. I want it to feel effortless. I don't want to feel pain, right? I want to run my best run. I want to feel great. And just keep to those thoughts. I guarantee you it will have a profound effect on your run.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRx podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.